to Marge in Ireland. Hi. And we're working on getting the flowers for you guys identified. I'm good, but I'm not that good, so I'm not sure. I think this is the third year in a row we haven't been able to figure this out. So we'll be looking into that. Today we have out for you Honey, who is trying to be coaxed out of her window den, and Ted over here to my right. Ted is probably our most predominant ambassador here. He's always here. He's a lovey bear. He likes to be out in the public. He likes people to look at him. But most especially, he loves what's in these enrichment tubes. We use tubes. We use PVC cubes, which are about this big, that Judy has down here for Honey. Inside all of them, we have a dedicated amount of food. For Honey Bear, she has peanuts and cranberries, and she's getting a few treats right now to lure her out. She doesn't like the proximity with Ted. Ted's probably too close at this point, but he doesn't care. He's got his treats over here. Ted has peanuts and cranberries, as will Holly and Lucky, who are in their enclosures right now. They will get their treats later also. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the bears, the different colors that bears are. Ted, obviously, big black bear, black with brown muzzle. So is Lucky. Ted is weighing in at about 566 right now. Honey is a cinnamon-faced black bear, and although she still is a black bear, she is a different color. That color occurs in Minnesota at about 5% of the bears that are in this area. We have a population of anywhere between 17 and 20,000, depending on what the DNR put out that particular year for population. Also in the United States and in Canada, there are Kermode bears, which are the white-black bear, and there's a glacier blue, which occurs basically in the western part of Washington State and Alaska. All the bears that are in Minnesota are American black bears. Lucky is, like I said, black with a brown muzzle. And Holly, we're noticing that Holly, although she does have a brown muzzle, she's getting just a few little white hairs on her chest. So she may have a little bit of white markings when she starts coming down here for the public to see. We released Holly into the big enclosure. We have 2.5 acres here. Each of our bears have independent dens, which is where Holly and Lucky are right now. They den next to each other. We released her into the big enclosure, and after about 3 hours, we actually did get her down to the front of the pond here. Then we had a little setback when Lucky joined the team of playing with her, and we think she just got too frightened by him because he is a 7-year-old bear, and he likes to play. And as Ted played with him with the cub, maybe he felt that he could play with Holly like that. And Holly's just not used to a bigger bear playing with her. She was raised by a human and then taken away and given to a rehabilitation facility. And in there she had cubs her own size to play with. And so she is small. She's 81 pounds, but feisty. And she will, through the summer, get used to these big guys wanting to play with her or look at her. Today she had a little bit of an encounter with Honey. Honey went up to her den and decided to pay her a visit. Holly immediately took her place up in the corner of her enclosure, which has big logs that she can climb on. And she stayed there until Honey was out of sight and had basically moved back down here. That's the first time that we know of that Honey's made any contact with Holly. It wasn't close, but Holly, of course, could see her and smell her. And Honey didn't make any aggressive moves to her that I saw. But it's still a bigger bear, and Holly has to learn that she's low man on the pole here, and she has to find her way to get along with all the bears here. Ted has always been very good about sharing his affection with other bears, especially Lucky, until Lucky got a little bit too big. And then when that could no longer happen, that they could play together, Ted really hasn't had anyone to play with. So this may be a new cub or a new yearling for Ted to play with. We don't know. Males and cubs don't play in the wild. Usually if a male encounters a yearling such as Holly, he will immediately put the yearling in a tree, or the yearling, being so frightened, will automatically go into a tree. If you can imagine, you've been with the cubs have been with their mom for about 17 months, and all of a sudden mom turns into this terror and doesn't want them around her anymore. They don't know what's happening, but they become very frightened, and they go into the trees for protection. Mom has taught them over that 17 months that the white pine, the red pine around here, any tree becomes a safety tree in which they can escape away from a bigger bear. So family breakup has occurred in the wild, and so the yearlings that are about 17 to 18 months old now, they're all dispersed from their families, and so they're trying to find their way into a world that is just greening up. And the food, you can see here how green it is, but this has only happened in the last month. So they have lots to eat, being a grass, and the aster is up, and they're eating that. But berries won't start being produced until July. So right now they're eating basically the little leaves and the buds coming out in the trees, and the grasses and the aster that's coming up out of the ground. There's also the false lily of the valley coming up. So many of the plants become plant food, and also some of the roots do too. So Ted, Lucky, Honey, and Holly have it pretty made here because we don't change their diet much. They get romaine lettuce, they get carrots, they get apples, they get grapes when we have them, and as you can see, Ted is waiting for more nuts. They get many treats during the day. We feed our bears about 5 times a day, 3 for enrichment, and then 2 meals, one breakfast, and you notice when I put my hands up how quickly he moves away. This means you're not getting any more. So he immediately starts looking for what we've thrown out. Honey works patiently to get everything out of the cube down here, or excuse me, she has a tube. She works very patiently at getting everything out. You'll notice as she continues to eat, she'll also put her head up and she'll look around. That's to make sure that Ted's over here, no one's coming from this direction to take her food. Ted will do the same thing. It's just something that is innate. They always look to see where another bear is. When you go into the wild and maybe you want to see a bear, if you see a bear, it's a great thing to see. Yesterday we were driving and we saw actually 2 crossing the road, and they're very nonchalant. It's like, don't you know you could probably get hit by a car here? So I always begin honking my horn to let them know that there's danger that cars can hurt. But right now with family breakup, it's kind of helter-skelter out there with the yearlings running to figure out where they're going to go next. The female will share her territory with her female offspring. She will give a portion of that territory that she has, which is between 2 to 8 miles. It depends on the age of the bear. She will allow her female yearling to share a portion of that. Males kind of hang around, and then they figure it out that they have to move to where there's females, so they change their territories and broaden their horizons, as it would be, to many different areas, and can go up to 125 miles away, actually. Do you folks have any questions? Good time to ask. This is worldwide. People are hearing you all over the world. Okay. Okay, well, I want to thank all of you for coming to the Bear Center and visiting. At about 12:30, quarter to 1, we will be putting Ted in and letting Lucky out. Right now, Holly is in, but we hope to get her out maybe later on this afternoon. We kind of have to start over with her and start walking with her to come down. So that's part of what we'll be doing in the next couple of days, is try to get her back down here. Honey will continue to watch where Ted is, and if Ted gets too close, she'll probably go around the pond or maybe back into the window den. There's also some food, I don't know if Ted got it, but there's also some food that I put earlier up on the bird feeder. Occasionally, he will go over and stand up to get that food. If you haven't already, we encourage you not only to visit us and spend the day. You have a day pass. It's good all day. We close at 7 o'clock. We will also invite you, if you will, to go to the Wolf Center and share their programs over there. We ask that you come back and visit us. If you're in town anytime soon, come back and visit us. This evening, we will be doing a behind the scenes if anyone's interested. That's an extra cost, but it kind of gives you a look at where the bears live and a walk all the way around the enclosure, which Lucky, if it doesn't rain tonight, if it rains, then we'll cancel it. But Lucky usually will join us and be a part of the antics that he provides. Is pretty comical. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching us, all of our worldwide viewers. We couldn't do what we do without the help of everyone. Excuse me. We cough a lot here because the allergies are really bad. Everything is alive and well and kicking up here. So thank you for listening to us, and we'll be back with you about 4 o'clock. We will try to do something up by Holly's Den after we do our live broadcast. So thank you so much for joining us.